blustery, cool, chilly day here in Foxborough Stadium as the winless New England Patriots host the resurging Cleveland Browns. The weather conditions much colder than this past week, about 15 degrees cooler. Slight wind, and the forecast is for rain. Hello, everybody. Dan Hicks with my partner, Dan Hampton. And once again, the story for Cleveland has been defense. The unit has not given up a touchdown in the last 13 quarters. Is this Brown defense for real, Dan?
Well, I think it is. And the reason is that front of the Cleveland Brown defense, led by Michael Dean Perry, is putting an awful lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They are going to play well as long as that line plays well.
All right, there could be a sense of panic here for the New England Patriots. 0-6. They have to have this game. Dick McPherson told us yesterday, we've got to have Cleveland.
Well, if they don't have this game, they've got a long winter ahead of them, because next week they have Buffalo. The week after that, New Orleans. He said if we don't get the game today, we're going to have a hard time selling this team on the fact that we can win any game.
All right, the New England Patriots trying to avoid a 0-7 start, which would tie the franchise mark. Cleveland Browns have won the toss, and Charlie Bauman will kick off for the Patriots. Randy Baldwin across the 40-yard line and finally run out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So an excellent return for Cleveland. Bauman, the kicker for New England, was there to shove him out of bounds. Let's set the Cleveland lineup for you. Mike Tomczak in his 4th start since taking over for the injured first and second string quarterbacks for the Browns. A talented group of running backs, Michael Jackson and Sean Collins, the wide receivers with Mark Bavaro at tight end. Offensively up front, it is Jones, Ringstra, the veteran Hilgenberg, Ed King, and Dan Fike at right guard and right tackle. Mike Tomczak, 2-in-1 in his 3 starts for Cleveland, and filling in for the injured Bernie Kosar and Todd Philcox. And right away he goes to the air, and it is caught by number 85, Lawyer Tillman. And what a story Lawyer Tillman is. Last week he caught his first pass since the AFC Championship game of 1990.
Well, all week long we heard about Cleveland going to come out and pound the ball. They run a real nice little play action there. Tomczak fakes the ball to Mack, goes back, hits Lawyer Tillman on a big streak pattern. That is exactly what they have to do to try to keep this defense honest.
A gain of 42 yards for Lawyer Tillman out of Auburn, the 2nd-round pick a couple of years ago. And a 1st down and 10 for Cleveland. Inside the 15-yard line, Tomczak again will throw. And it is incomplete. Intended for Tillman again. So right off the bat, the first 2 plays of the game, Dan, they go to Tillman.
Well, here's a guy that a lot of defensive coaches have basically forgot about. Tillman's been out of the circuit here for a couple of years. He had that fracture down close to the ankle. It's taken him a long time to come back. Hey, let's go to him. A lot of defenses don't realize what he is. He's a big target with good hands. Tomczak went to him 2 plays in a row.
2nd down and 10 for Tomczak and the Browns. They are at the 8-yard line of the Patriots. The field could be a little bit slick out there today. It has been drizzling mostly before this game kicked off. It is stopped now, and Tomczak again to throw. That time intended for Eric Metcalf.
Well, we see big 96 Brent Williams. He got a good push there, keeping Tomczak from being able to set, plant, and throw that real quick slant. We're going to be watching that Cleveland offensive line. Right in the center of your screen, you see 63, Jay Hilgenberg, doing a pretty good job there on Tim Go, the nose tackle. Brent Williams falling back at the last second, getting a little bit of that pressure on the quarterback.
Well, that brings up a 3rd down for Cleveland. They have made 32% of their 3rd down conversion attempts. And the Patriots in the nickel package on 3rd and 10. And this time, the first running play of the game is Tommy Vardell, the fullback, and he is stuffed by the Patriot defense. So for the first time, the Browns keep it on the ground. Cleveland had their best rushing output in 2 seasons last week when they picked up 142 yards. And we would think we would see them go down the field on the ground, but they have come up with 2 big pass plays, and that puts Matt Stover into a chip shot field goal here. Actually, really not a chip shot. It's about 30 yards. He didn't get all of it, but he did get enough. And the Cleveland Browns come right off the bat, 13-15 in the first quarter. 3-0 Cleveland. Well, so much for the conservative offense of the Cleveland Browns. Mike Tomczak comes out and hits Lawyer Tillman for a couple of passes right off the bat. And Matt Stover has given the Browns a 3-0 lead, 13-15 in the first.
Well, Maurice Hurst, the right cornerback for New England, has had an awful lot of problems the last couple of weeks in man-on-man coverage. Anytime they see him locked up man-on-man, they're going to throw it his way.
Walter Stanley and John Vaughn await the kickoff from Stover. And it'll be Vaughn from the 6. Across the 20, but no more than that before he's pushed out of bounds. Hugh Millen back at the quarterback slot for the Patriots, and for the first time in his career, which started at the tender age of 9, he is wearing a knee brace. He's banged up, Dan.
Well, this left knee, his plant knee for the quarterback, or all right-hand quarterbacks, they want that left knee good and solid. Now, he had it stretched here a couple of weeks ago. It's bothering him. He was wearing that brace for stability. Now, the fact that they're playing on natural grass today is going to be a big plus the fact that he doesn't have to get down in a stance. A lot of people that get in a stance have a lot of problems with braces. A lot of quarterbacks wear them just for safety.
He's also without his big play wide receiver, Irving Fryer, out with a hamstring. He did not dress and will not play, and stoppage of play as a flag went down at the 20-yard line.
Looked like left guard Reggie Redding popped up a little bit early on Michael Dean Perry there.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 70 offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It was Reggie Redding who moved down the offensive line for New England.
Well, actually, Michael Dean Perry, the ultra-quick defensive tackle for Cleveland, had a little jump. Redding popped up with him. He was called. But the thing about Michael Dean Perry is he will put you in a lot of situations that you feel like you have to play by the seat of your pants, because this guy is 300 pounds of cat quick.
So Greg McMurtry in motion on 1st and 15 for the Patriots. Leonard Russell. And he scratches his way to the 19-yard line. And they need him to get well in a hurry. He's suffering from a hip pointer. And they need to get him more carries as this game goes on. John Stevens is the fullback. Timpson takes the place of Irving Fryer at the wideout as the starting wideout. McMurtry and Cook round out that line. Armstrong, Redding, Chilton, Chung, and Harlow, 3 number 1s on the offensive line for the Patriots, which has been slow in developing. And there is Irving Fryer, who has accounted for half of the Patriot touchdowns this season. He is having a career year this year, and he's been in the NFL 9 years. Russell again across the 25, and let's set the Cleveland defense for you. Burnett, Jones, Michael Dean Perry, the only Brown named to the Pro Bowl last season, Pleasant, Brandon Johnson, and the veteran Clay Matthews. And in the secondary, Taylor, Minifield, only making his second start, and Eric Turner and Vince Newsom, the free safety.
You know, for this offense to work the best, what they want to do is pound you with those big backs and use the tight end Marv Cook. Now, last week they didn't do either. They need to establish that early in the game.
Well, you saw a picture of Everson Walls, just acquired yesterday from the New York Giants. He is in this nickel package as Millen's pass is incomplete, intended for Michael Timpson. So we see Everson Walls very quickly in this game.
Well, he played for Bill Belichick in New York, and you know what you have with Everson. Here's a corner that will not compromise your defense. Will always be in the right spot. He's not as fast as he used to be, but he's still a smart guy, and you can always use a guy that can cover and is smart.
Sean McCarthy to punt for New England. And back deep for the Browns is Eric Metcalf. And keep an eye on him. He can break one at any moment. He'll run to his right. And this one will be down by the Patriots at the 29-yard line. Eugene Lockhart was down there for New England. 3-0 Cleveland. We're just underway from Foxborough. Back at Foxborough Stadium, where Bill Belichick and the Cleveland Browns have a quick 3-0 lead on the New England Patriots. This is the first time that the Browns have ventured away from home in more than a month, and they are shooting for their 3rd straight victory for the first time since 1989. So Belichick takes to the road here and has a chance to keep the Browns in the running in that AFC Central Division. And Mike Tomczak, who took all of 1:45 to get the Browns on the board in the first series, went by air. We'll see what he does here in the second series from the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. And this is Tommy Vardell, the first running back picked in the NFL draft this season out of Stanford, the 9th overall player picked. And Tommy Vardell will have to wait a little bit to get as many carries as he had for Stanford because the Browns' backfield is a little bit crowded right now.
Well, they've got a crowded backfield, but they picked this guy in the first round because they like what he can do. He can carry the ball, he can block, he's a great pass receiver. He'll do anything you want him to do to help the team win, and I don't think you can have enough guys like Tommy Vardell on a roster, because sooner or later, with the injuries that occur during a long season, a guy like this is worth his weight.
Well, Vardell set 6 school records, including 1,000 yards in his senior year at Stanford, a gain of 3 for Vardell. 2nd and 7 for the Browns, and it is Vardell again, and he is close to the first down. Roger Brown on the stop for New England.
Well, Jay Hilgenberg there snapping the ball, number 63. You see, he snaps the ball. He overblocks a linebacker that had walked up in there, creating that big seam where Vardell could come up, juke a little bit, and fall for a big gain. Now, that is what Jay Hilgenberg brings to an offensive line. Great savvy, great quickness, and a great skill of coordinating those inside blockers into making that group very cohesive. There we saw it. We'll see it again and again today. Jay Hilgenberg, still one of the best centers in the NFL.
It is 12th year out of Iowa, and it's 3rd and 1 for the Browns, and Vardell, play action fake to him, and Tomczak will keep it and barrel across the 40-yard line for the first down. And Tomczak, one of the best play fakers in the game, Dan, fooled the Patriots defensive line on that one.
Well, I'm going to have a great time this afternoon talking about Mike Tomczak and Jay Hilgenberg, 2 of the teammates that I went to the Super Bowl with back in Chicago 7 years ago. Now, that is one of his great assets. He has a great feel for that play action fake. Now, he saw the receiver was covered, knew it was a short ways to the to be able to move the change. Tomczak just tucks the ball, puts his head down, and tries to get that first down, and he does.
Tomczak 2-1 as the starter. Beat his old team, the Green Bay Packers, last week, and with Bernie Kosar and Todd Philcox out for at least a couple of more weeks, Tomczak is the man for Bill Belichick in Cleveland. 1st and 10 from the 40, another play action fake, and Tomczak Carson is in trouble back in the backfield. It gets it away, and it is complete to Lawyer Tillman. How in the world did Tomczak get rid of that one?
I tell you what, you know, you can't teach these type of intangibles to a quarterback. Tomczak has been one of those guys that you know is a strong, competent guy, won't put your defense in a bad position by making mistakes. Here, he sees that his receiver is covered. He ducks down, gets under the defensive lineman's grasp, then gets it off. Now, a lot of quarterbacks would be content to go down with the sack and take a chance at the next snap. Not Tomczak. He goes ahead, makes sure he doesn't make the mistake, but makes some positive yardage for you.
Signed as a free agent with the Browns in September. And Lawyer Tillman already has 2 catches for 69 yards. We have an injury timeout. We'll be back to Foxborough. 3-0 Cleveland. Well, Tomczak got the pass off, but Ray Agnew, the big left end for New England, had to be helped off the field here, Dan.
Well, it's a wet, slick track, and looks like Ray was doing a great job flushing Tomczak there. He goes down a little sideways, had to be helped off, but I think he's okay now. It may have hurt his elbow. It looks like they're going to ice it, tape it to his side.
The 10th player chosen overall 3 years ago, picked up by the New England Patriots. He has been plagued in his career by injuries. 1st and 10, meanwhile, for the Browns, inside, well inside of Patriots territory. And again, flushed out of the pocket is Tomczak, and this time he will not escape. Eugene Lockhart, who got the start for Johnny Rembert today, picks up the sack for the Patriots.
The Browns are maybe trying to sell this play action too much. To make the play action work, you've got to run it. Well, they haven't run it enough to make those linebackers and safety respect it. There we saw the line get a good surge, but no one was fooled. The linebackers waited there at their position and came up and made the play.
And there is Ray Agnew, 6'3", 272 pounds, 3rd-year man out of North Carolina State. We mentioned he had been plagued by injuries, and he has his elbow wrapped in on 2nd and 11. Mike Tomczak will go to the air, and he'll find his man. The word on Ray Agnew is a dislocated shoulder.
Well, you'll see Tim Goad there at the top middle of your screen, number 72, make a great rush on Ed King. Gets upfield, grabs him, turns that shoulder, but misses Tomczak. Now, as a defensive lineman, hey, this is like making the cake and giving it away. You don't get a bite of it. Hey, you make a great rush like that, and Tim Goad is not known as a pass rusher, but there he made a big-time move. Last week he got his first sack in a year and a half on Dan Marino. He should have had another one.
Sean Collins picks up the first down for the Browns. And Kevin Mack gets his first carry of the game, and Mack a big factor in the last couple of games. He was on IR the first 4 games with a calf injury. He had a couple of touchdowns last week to boost his career total to 50, and Mack is a very important piece of this rushing puzzle for Bill Belichick.
Well, he is, and now they've got him healthy. You know, when they get Kozar back, they get a few other guys back, they feel like their offense will be a lot better. But the fact is, to sell those play-action passes, which Tomczak does so well, you've got to be able to make them respect the rush. You need Mack in there hitting between those tackles, creating gaps to make that play-action work.
Well, Tim Edwards has replaced Ray Agnew at the left end position for the Patriots. 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain by Mack, and this is Mack again on the carry, and he won't get 3 that time. Brought down by Brent Williams.
You know, Cleveland kind of prides themselves on being able to pound the ball. They want to be a lot tougher of a group on offense. You know, getting Mark Bavaro, the tight end, Kevin Mack back. These are their big, strong, tough guys, and they want to pride themselves about being able to pound in there. They've run that play action an awful lot, and in part due to the fact that they respect that New England front 7. New England hasn't had the stats to back them up, but a lot of people think that their front 7 is as fine as anyone has in the entire NFL.
Well, Eric Metcalf, the lone setback for the Browns. The ball at the 16, and it is Mack bowling his way around the right side. He is pushed out at about the 10-yard line, where David Poole, the left corner, forced him out.
Well, the interesting thing about this Cleveland offense, they have 4 or 5 different packages. Here we'll see a good job of the offensive lineman just to tie up their linemen. On 3rd and short, you don't know whether it's a pass or a run. There they just fired out, held the defensive lineman in place, creating a gap, letting Mack find yardage for the first down.
The Cleveland Browns rank 25th in the NFL on offense, number 21 in rushing. But they haven't had everybody healthy, and Bill Belichick told us yesterday that Kevin Mack is a key ingredient to get this Brown rushing attack up to its capability. This is the 10th play of the drive. Tomczak to pass, and it is batted away by number 27, David Poole, intended for Lawyer Tillman.
Well, their Poole makes does a great job of watching the quarterback's eyes. A lot of guys in man-on-man, they'll get in a hip pocket, not even look at the quarterback. Their Poole is watching Tomczak. He's not worried so much about Tillman. He's watching the ball come. That's how he makes such a great play. Tomczak's lucky he didn't throw a pick.
So it'll be 2nd down, the ball on the 9-yard line. And the 12th play of this drive, 2nd and goal. Cleveland already up 3-0.
Watch for Mark Bavaro, the tight end. He's excellent down close to the goal line.
This is a pitch to Mack, and he'll try to stiff arm his way inside the 10. Randy Robbins and Roger Brown forced him out. And that'll bring up 3rd down and goal for Cleveland.
I think you saw how tough it is to slow Kevin Mack down. That poor lady, she looked like a shopping cart in front of a truck there.
Mack, one of the hardest runners you'll find in the NFL. In fact, in an earlier game against Pittsburgh this season, Dan, Mack injured a couple of Steelers just when they tried to tackle him.
Doug Deacon, who does the radio broadcast for the Browns, said in his entire career of watching playing in the NFL, the collision between Mack and Greg Lloyd of the Steelers rates as the all-time greatest.
3rd and goal. Tomczak will throw. This one intended for Tillman, and it is broken up by Maurice Hurst. So Hurst, who has been having his problems at cornerback for the Patriots this season, comes up big, knocks down the pass, and that'll bring up the field goal unit again for Cleveland.
Here, Tomczak just wanted to throw the fade. You got those big, tall wideouts. Tillman, Michael Jackson, they're all 6'4", 6'5", trying to get up and get that ball. Tomczak underthrew it just a little bit.
So once again, the Browns could be settling for a field goal. A 30-yarder by Matt Stover earlier made it 3-0, and he'll try to make it 6-0. On a 29-yarder, which is good. So the Browns settle for a couple of field goals early here. We're still in the first quarter. Cleveland 6, the winless Patriots nothing. Dick McPherson, the coach of the New England Patriots. Another long week for he and his team. And Dan, we had a chance to sit down with McPherson yesterday, get a little bit of an insight into how he's feeling. Normally an upbeat, enthusiastic coach, but as he left our meeting, I think it was summed up when he said, we have to have the Cleveland Browns.
Well, we talked about it in the open. It's going to be a long winter if he doesn't get this game today. And, you know, he wanted to be 2-4, 3-3. 0-6 he never planned on.
This will be John Vaughn returning the kickoff from Matt Stover. And Vaughn is across the 25 before he is wrestled down. And that is where the Patriots will get another chance. 1st and 10, Frank Minifield down there on the coverage for the Browns. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action beginning at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. And many of you will see a divisional rivalry between AFC Central teams as these Browns take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Others will see the AFC's highest-rated quarterback in Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills as they collide with these New England Patriots. Or regional action, you can check your local listings for the game and time in your area. 1st down and 10 for New England. This is John Stevens around the left side, picking up some pretty good yardage before he is pushed out of bounds at the 35. Vince Newsom, the big free safety there to push him out, the 10th-year man out of Washington. And we mentioned that the Cleveland Browns are trying to stay in the thick of the AFC Central race. They have won 2 straight, and a 3rd win here today against New England would put them at 4-3 and very much in the hunt for the AFC Central crown, with Houston going to 5-2 today. Hugh Millen sat out last week as Tommy Hotson directed the New England Patriot loss to the Miami Dolphins. This is Stevens, and he will get nowhere. Anthony Pleasant, the right end, on the stop.
Well, that'll be a great matchup today. Bruce Armstrong, the huge left tackle for the Patriots, against Anthony Pleasant, a 3rd-year player that is really starting to open up some eyes. Now, this guy right here, teaming with the other end, Rob Burnett, has really made a big stride. Now, last year, they were basically lost out there at times. This year, they're starting to play like top-flight NFL defensive ends, and you combine them with J.J. and Michael Dean in the middle, that's a really awesome-looking defensive line because they're so very young. Not anything like they're going to be in 2 or 3 years.
Well, it'll be important for New England to convert 3rd downs today. They've just converted 36% this season, and that one is incomplete, intended for the tight end, Ben Coates, and the boos began to cascade down here in Foxborough as Hugh Millen and the Patriots come up empty again.
Well, they run a couple of long traps and then the gut play, and then Hugh goes back, doesn't really look sure of himself, throws the ball high. I don't think the offense is doing what it has to do to create and establish what they want to do. They need to pound those guys straight at that defense and get the tight end involved. Marv Cook has caught an awful lot of passes. Let him catch it.
This is Sean McCarthy to punt. Eric Metcalf is back deep for Cleveland. He comes up to the 25 and slips and falls on the wet turf out there and only gains a couple to the 28-yard line or so. The punt 40 yards and just a return of 4 for Metcalf. Richard Tardis of New England on the stop. Big debut next Saturday. Don't miss the season premiere of NBA Inside Stuff, the entertainment show of the NBA. It's hosted by Ahmad Rashad and Willow Bay. The magic is back as Ahmad sits down with the Lakers superstar Irvin Johnson. Don't miss his thoughts on his return to the NBA, plus a very special jam session. It's all next Saturday at noon Eastern on NBC. Check your local listings. 2:44 to go here in the first quarter. Cleveland up 6-0 on the New England Patriots with a couple of Matt Stover field goals. The New England Patriots not able to get anything generated on offense early in the game, and Mike Tomczak will take over again. 1st and 10 from the 29. And this is Vardell again pulling his way. The Cleveland Browns, Dan, like to run right up the middle. You don't see a lot of sweeps with this team. They like to come at you right up the gut.
Well, I think it goes along with their philosophy. Bill Belichick there is a very no-nonsense guy. Hey, can you block me? Can I knock you off the ball? That's what he wants to see early. And that offensive line has really started to gel. They're starting to get a lot of confidence in running the ball straight at people. You've got big backs like Vardell and Mack. Hey, give it to him. Let's see who the big dog in the fight is.
Well, Mike Tomczak is the big dog at quarterback for the Browns. Bernie Kosar, who, of course, is still 3 weeks away, broke his ankle in the Monday night game against Miami the very next week. Todd Philcox, who also did not make the trip here, fractured his thumb in the next week against the Raiders. And that pass is complete from Tomczak to Metcalf, who gets some good yardage. Vincent Brown, who will be calling his number on the Patriot defense a lot, made the stop.
Well, like I said earlier, they have 4 different packages there. They brought the running back Metcalf in, put him out there in the slot, and basically got a mismatch on him. When you think of a safety covering Metcalf, hey, that's a tough job. This guy right here, I think there's only one player that is capable of covering him. That is a quick, little nifty cornerback.
Well, the defensive line for the New England Patriots is rather makeshift at this point. You saw Ray Agnew have to be let off the field with a dislocated shoulder. He's the starting left end. So Marion Hobby, Tim Edwards, and Fred Smerlis are the defensive line for the Patriots. And there is John Rienstra, the left guard, who is now off the field for Cleveland.
Well, we'll see. Rienstra, the big guard, he's back there trying to get a little help on protecting Tomczak. Andre Tippett just unloads on him. Looks like Rienstra got his hand caught inside Tippett's face mask or between the helmets. Now, it hurts when it's in training camp, but when you get out here on a cold, blustery day like this, believe me, you want to cut your arm off.
Rienstra has been a key pickup for Cleveland from the Steelers last year. And on 1st and 10, Tomczak flips it out to Michael Jackson, who makes his first reception of the game. He is the deep threat for Cleveland. 6'4", 195-pound second-year man from Southern Miss. They are high on him.
Let me tell you something. They have got some bookends on this offense of Cleveland. Here, one receiver 6'5", the other one Tillman 6'4". They've got an awesome display of talent out there. And I'll tell you what, I think it goes along with their offensive philosophy. We want big, strong guys. You can't jam. Big, strong receivers that can go get that football. We don't want a bunch of little nifty guys. We want big, strong people to make a big, strong offense.
Well, a pickup for 6 for Michael Jackson. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. 37 seconds and counting to go in the first quarter. And Tomczak hands it off to Mack. And he is met by a host of New England Patriots. And Mack doesn't want to go down. He says, you can get around me, but I'm not going to fall to the turf here, guys.
Well, you keep talking about what this Cleveland offense wants to do. I think this guy right here embodies what they want to do. They want a back that doesn't fumble, that you can count on 3, 4, 5, 6 yards every carry. Just make the change move and keep the offense on the field. Give that young defense a time to catch its air and be able to be effective when they have to be.
Well, that is the end of the first quarter, and Cleveland, on the strength of a couple of Matt Stover field goals, with a 6-0 lead on New England. Well, 6-0 Cleveland, and the way these teams have been going, we probably shouldn't expect too much scoring in the second quarter either, Dan.
Well, part of the thing, when you see a graphic like this, is Bill Belichick was a defensive coordinator. Now he's got another defensive coordinator running the defense, Nick Saban. There really is no offensive coordinator, so what you can see there is great adjustments on defense, maybe not that great of adjustments on the offensive side.
Well, it's 3rd down and 4 for Cleveland. The ball just across midfield at the Patriot 48-yard line, and this one is complete to Leroy Horde out of the backfield, the 3rd-year man out of Michigan.
We're going to see
picks up the 1st down for the Browns.
Hey, we're going to see a cast of thousands in that backfield. We have Leroy Horde, Metcalf, Mack, Tommy Vardell. We're going to see a lot of different faces because they can do an awful lot of different things. And there was just a little quick flare pass. Tomczak hitting perfectly, 1st down.
Well, a gain of 15 for Leroy Horde. He'll come out. Kevin Mack is back in, but Horde had 11 touchdowns last year, 9 by air, and that was a club record for running backs, and it actually tied for second on the all-time list for running backs. 1st and 10. Tomczak swings it out, intended for Eric Metcalf, and Metcalf cannot hold on to it.
Now, we talked about how tall those wide receivers are. Now, they're 6'5", and Metcalf's about 5'7". Maybe Tomczak forgot who was standing out there. Just chunked it over his head. You see, what they try to do is just take a couple of steps, push that corner off. Now, Metcalf's a great athlete, but he's not a 6'5" power forward. He's more like a ball-handling guard there.
Well, you wouldn't expect that from a player who leads all of the AFC running backs with 348 reception yards. Metcalf does. So he'll come out of the ball game. And Sean Collins and Michael Jackson are Mike Tomczak's wideouts on 2nd down and 10. And Tomczak calls a timeout. Didn't like what he saw at all across the line. And he'll go over to the sidelines to talk things over with Bill Belichick.
Well, New England went back in a 2-deep sky coverage with the corners off. Didn't like that, had a play that wouldn't work.
And we'll be back to Foxborough in just a moment. Mike Tomczak, the former Bear quarterback who spent 6 years in Chicago, was a winner there. 23-11 record there. Acquired as a free agent by Cleveland when they got into an urgent quarterback situation, and he's having a good time this season, isn't he, Dan?
Oh, he really is, and you can see it by the expressions that he has when he's off the field. On the field, he's having a great time, and it's great. He says, you know, I played at Ohio State. I love the fact I'm ending my career here. Hey, I can't be any happier.
The ball on the 37-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Tomczak to the air, looping one over. Intended for Sean Collins, and a flag is thrown.
That will be defensive interference.
Indeed it will.
Now, a lot of times those receivers have to play defense when the quarterback throws a pass that is not that good. No. We'll get the call here. They are going to call David Poole for interference.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, 1st down.
That's what the call is, David Poole.
Well, let's take a look at this. You'll see David Poole, number 27 there, playing the ball. That was absolutely one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
How do you really feel about it, Dan?
Hey, Sean Collins, hey, let me tell you something. They have opened this game up for the offense time and time again. You've got to give a defensive player a chance. You'll see Poole playing the ball. Now, basically, he is just setting himself up to make a move on the interception. Sean Collins, 80, climbing up his back. Offensive interference, no question about it.
Well, it's 1st down and 10, and Cleveland trying to take advantage. Ron Wolfley is in motion. He'll block. And to give us to Kevin Mack. So David Poole shaking his head as he went to the sidelines. The Foxborough Stadium crowd did not agree, and neither did we.
Well, you know, there's an awful lot of conjecture about the instant replay. What happened? I would love to see it implemented 2 plays a game for each coach. Hey, a play like that you see that your guy is in the right and you know it's a bad call. Hey, call for the instant replay. I think there's a place for it in moderation, not like it was where it's just a sideshow. But there, David Poole would have been vindicated on a replay.
2nd down and 9. The Browns can pick up a 1st down. But Tomczak avoiding the sack. A flag was thrown. Andre Tippett was pressuring Tomczak.
That is another judgment call by the official. Now, apparently,
could be a holding call. That's what the Browns have indicated. And that's what it'll be. Defensive holding against the Patriots.
Well, we saw Tomczak drop back, pump fake. Maybe the corner bid on it too much and then grab the receiver to keep him from beating him.
Holding, number 55 defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Holding call on Chris Singleton, the starting right outside linebacker.
There we saw Andre coming on a good rush. Apparently, Tomczak pump faked the tight end. Chris Singleton maybe was in coverage. We don't have that replay. We'll take a big look at it up at the top left of your screen there. You'll see him number 83, the tight end, beats him right at the line of scrimmage. He has to try to grab him, giving the pass rush time to get to Tomczak.
1st down and 5 for Cleveland. Kevin Mack, right side, bowls across the 5 for maybe 1 yard. So New England not getting the breaks at all here as the second quarter starts. Tim Edwards, the stop for New England.
Well, Mark Bavaro was a guy that was held by Chris Singleton, but that was another judgment call by the official. Didn't look like he was held that much, but if they're watching and you're 0-6, a lot of breaks don't go your way.
No gain for Mack. 2nd down and 5. Mack again the lone setback. Tomczak to pass across the middle, intended for Tillman, incomplete. So that will bring up 3rd down for Cleveland, which has had to settle for field goals. And you got to think Bill Belichick would like to push it in the end zone.
Well, this offense is very efficient when it's operating in the field. Run the ball, play action. But when you get down close to the goal line, those defensive backs and all are a lot tighter to the line of scrimmage. The field shrinks. They're not as efficient down there. I think you have to watch for Tomczak trying to find Bavaro. The last play, they try to cover him with a linebacker, Vincent Brown. Usually, Bavaro on a linebacker is a good matchup.
3rd down and 4 for the touchdown. Tomczak, plenty of time, but it is incomplete. That was Maurice Hurst who thought he had the interception, but the officials have ruled it incomplete, so maybe another call against the New England Patriots. They can't get anything to go their way.
Well, Big Mo, he doesn't like the call. Here, Tomczak tried to find Bavaro. Then at the last second, he come back to the left side. Well, I'll tell you what, that looked pretty good. It looked like he had his hands cradling underneath the ball when the ball arrived. It looked like a good catch to me. I don't know. You know, official was blocked by his vision was blocked. Who knows?
So a 21-yard field goal attempt for Matt Stover. Will he make it 9-0 with his 3rd field goal? Yes, he does so for the 3rd time. The Browns have to settle for a field goal. Their defense has not given up a touchdown in the last 14 quarters, and New England has been stuffed so far. Darkness has fallen on Foxborough with the daylight savings time. It has fallen even earlier here as the Cleveland Browns with a 9-0 lead. 3 field goals by Matt Stover, and Walter Stanley will take the kickoff, and down at the end zone, New England will come out to the 20, where they will begin to try and get something going. New England does not have a 1st down yet in the game. Cleveland has racked up 9 first downs already as Hugh Millen trots off with that knee brace. And he was a little bit upset when we talked with him yesterday that he had not even had a chance to put the knee brace on until after yesterday's workout.
Well, that's kind of sad. You know, this is the NFL. This is the big leagues, and he needed a brace on Wednesday for practice. In fact, he had to borrow Harlow, the big right tackle's old brace, and he said, hey, that was like putting a pipe cleaner in a radiator hose. It was so loose, it didn't give me any kind of a feel.
Well, here he is to pass on 1st and 10 over the middle.
But, you know, Dan, when you put those braces on...
And that is complete to the tight end, Marv Cook.
You know, it's a psychological thing. You know, the brace is basically just a rubber sleeve with some metal hinges on the side. Okay, but you're out there, you know, you talk about a quarterback getting into that zone where he feels things. Well, you know, the knee is bothering him. The brace doesn't feel, you know, the same. He hasn't had time to get used to it. The shoulder's bad. Hugh Millen does not look like he's comfortable playing right now.
Well, there's Pat Harlow, who Millen borrowed Harlow's knee brace and taped it on. I can't imagine trying to get some repetitions with that thing on as Leonard Russell takes it over the right side for a little bit of a gain, but that'll bring up 3rd down and a good 5 yards to go for New England, which is still searching for answers on offense.
You know, it's kind of funny. If you need a knee brace or you want to talk to a guy that wears them, always find a guy from USC, especially the offensive lineman. You see big Harlow there, number 77, Pat Harlow, the 1st-round pick last year, slowed by a bad back that had surgery. But, hey, those guys from USC all wear knee braces. Everyone I've ever played with or against, you can look at their knees, they got braces on them.
You guys didn't wear knee braces at
No.
Arkansas?
Hey, I was trying to be as fast as I could. If you're slow like me, you
All
get a
right,
step
third
here
down
and
and
there.
4. Millen to throw. A right side, and it was nowhere near Marv Cook as he was covered pretty tightly by the strong safety Eric Turner. So 1, 2, 3 and out of the New England Patriots.
Well, Marv Cook is a very important part of this offense. Now, you'll see after that little shower most of the day, the field is slick. Now, he's a guy they have to get involved in this offense. They need to dink it to him, run those big backs in there, and then sooner or later, the wideouts will become open.
Well, Sean McCarthy got a workout last week. He punted 7 times against the Miami Dolphins, and he is on again to kick to Eric Metcalf. Not a very good kick at all. In fact, it bounces at midfield where the ball is down at the 48-yard line. So Cleveland up 9-0 will have excellent field position. Chris Gannon down there in the coverage. 26-yard punt. Now tonight it's Secret Service and eyewitness video. Then it's an NBC world premiere movie inspired by the true story. A cop is killed and his partner is out to get even. Where does justice end and revenge begin? In the line of duty, Street War tonight on NBC. 11:11 to go in the first half. Cleveland up 9-0. 3 Matt Stover field goals and the 3 last possessions for Cleveland. And now they will begin with even better field position.
Well, so thus far in the game, I mean, they have had the ball 13.5 minutes. New England's just almost 4 minutes. So they have controlled that clock, something that Cleveland loves to do.
This is Eric Metcalf. Metcalf, who had a career game, well, actually not a career game, but a pretty good one for a season, scoring all 4 of his touchdowns in the Browns' last road game in Los Angeles. That was the most for a Brown since Leroy Kelly scored 5 in 1968.
This guy gives you a dimension that you don't find on the Cleveland offense any other place. Webster Slaughter being gone was one of the only other guys that was really a home run type of receiver or back. This guy, very hard to catch in the open field. You utilize him by getting him the ball out there in the open field when he's lined up on a safety or linebacker and let him go.
Gain of 3 for Metcalf. 2nd and 7. The ball across midfield at the Patriot 48. This is Mack. And he's got the first down and more. Actually, that is Tommy Vardell, number 44, who's got the first down. Touchdown, Tommy Vardell.
Well, the right corner for New England basically did an Olay over there. It had corner force on. The safety was back off the line, came up and basically just dove on the ground there in front of Tommy Vardell. Now this guy is 232 pounds and he runs low to the ground. Very low slung player. Has more power than another Stanford player playing fullback that I played with, Brad Mustard. Mustard, very similar type of guy, but this guy here carries a little bit more weight in his britches.
Well, a 9-yard gain for Vardell. First down at 10, and the Browns will throw again on first down. Tomczak going long down the sidelines where Metcalf had a step or 2 on the linebacker, Chris Singleton. And Tomczak probably knows if he could have got it there, it could have been 6.
Tomczak saying, man, I had my hand in the cookie jar and didn't get anything. Hey, he goes back, he's looking to the right. Little pressure there, he moves around in the pocket nicely. He's always done that. But here, at the last second, he sees Metcalf on a linebacker. That's a matchup you dream about. There, he didn't make it click for the 6.
Tomczak 6 for 14 for 115 yards, but he's missed on his last 5 passes, so he's cooled off a bit. Second down at 10 from the Patriot 40. That is Metcalf in motion. And this time, Tomczak will take a seat. Andre Tippett, the all-time sack leader for the New England Patriots, chalks up another one and a big loss for Cleveland.
Well, it looks like Brent Williams did a great job of flushing here. You see 98 right there coming from his left defensive end position, doing a great job of making him pull the ball down. Now it's Tim Edwards, 98, making a big move on the right tackle. There, Tippett basically gets the gravy. but Tim Edwards was the guy that whipped the potatoes up for him. I tell you what.
He whipped them up all right for a loss of 16, which will bring up 3rd down and 24.
This offense has a hard time getting out of this big of a hole.
Tomczak out of the shotgun across the middle, intended for Michael Jackson. And it is complete, but it'll be well short of the 1st down. David Poole on the coverage along with Roger Brown.
And we'll see Jackson beating David right on the line of scrimmage. Those corners get up there on little guys, they can jam them, but not these 6'5" receivers. I think it's smarter to get back off the line and let those big guys just try to run with them.
Gain of 17 for the Browns, but the punting unit, actually, they are going to attempt a field goal. Brian Henson is the punter. He holds for Matt Stover.
You know, this is going to be something like 54 yards.
This will be a 54-yard attempt for Matt Stover. And it is just short and wide to the left. So Matt Stover, who has 3 field goals, couldn't get it to go through from 54 yards out, and New England is happy, only down 9-0. Now there's your scoring. Matt Stover with 3 field goals to give the Browns a 9-0 lead. He was unsuccessful on a 54-yard attempt just a moment ago, and New England still trying to get something mustered on offense. Cleveland has 10 first downs. The Patriots still looking for their very first down of the game.
Well, even though Irving Fryer's out and the quarterback's beat up, that's still pretty bad. Very, in fact, pathetic for the offense.
Marv Cook, the tight end, in motion on 1st down. Millen will throw. And Cook makes a nifty grab. David Brandon, the left outside linebacker, on the coverage. And Marv Cook is a guy that Hugh Millen likes to throw to.
Well, I think he's the guy you've got to get involved. Last year, 82 catches. This year, he's not on a pace. Last week, we did the game in Miami. Basically a non-factor. I think a guy like this, possession guy, you've got to get him included.
Well, Hugh Millen likes to go to Marv Cook. Tommy Hodson, who started for New England last week, does not like to go to Marv Cook as often. A gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. This one intended for Michael Timpson, who got the start for Irving Fryer. Incomplete. Frank Minifield on the coverage. The Cleveland Browns with a 9-0 lead. 7:41 to go in the 1st half. All 3 Matt Stover field goals. He's attempted 4. A 54-yard attempt, unsuccessful just a moment ago. And the time of possession, Cleveland, which had a 9.5-minute drive to start the game last week, which set the tone against Green Bay, is doing the same thing here today against New England.
Well, and this guy right here, number 57, Clay Matthews, 15 years in the league. He says, hey, I feel like a young pup because that offense is keeping us off the field now.
Clay Matthews in his 15th year out of USC. Still one of the great ones. And Millen complete to Timpson. And he'll get the 1st down for New England. So the fans come to their feet here in Foxborough as the Patriots move the chains for the 1st time.
Well, Timpson used an Irving Fryer-like move there to avoid the tackler and get the 1st down. Now, this offense, we talked about how they have to be able to move the ball, try to throw it in the middle of the field. If they can't get the guys on the outside, those receivers and tight ends need to get back into the middle and catch the ball and try to get those chains moving.
Michael Timpson had 6 catches, 1 for a touchdown against Miami last week. And filling in for Fryer today, the Patriots' big play man, Timpson, has to be a factor today for Hugh Millen, who hands it off to Leonard Russell, who still doesn't look like the back who was the rookie of the year last year in the NFL. He's been suffering from a hip pointer. He had just 10 yards on 6 carries last week, and he looks like a shell of the running back that we saw last year.
Well, there's no doubt that this guy is a talent, but he's not a talent if he's injured and he can't get it done. And we see how he's not attacking that line of scrimmage. He's got his head down. He doesn't have that vision. He's looking for people to avoid and miss rather than for people to run over, and that's not his game.
Well, Dick Corey, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, told us yesterday that Leonard Russell has to get 15, 20 quality rushes a game, or it's just not our game plan at all. Millen flushed out of the pocket. He'll scramble his way across midfield before Mike Johnson wraps him up. And we were talking about the rushing game, Dan. Hugh Millen, by the way, has the longest run of the year from scrimmage for New England, 26 yards.
Well, I just think it's just an amazing stat for this guy to have the longest rush of the year. When you got Leonard Russell and John Stevens in your backfield, and a quarterback, 6'5", kind of gangly with a bad knee, is the guy that has the longest run. Something's foul back there. And you know, I just think, you know, when we talk about his knee, hey, it didn't look that bad there. He was able to be nifty and get out of the pocket, try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that can't be good for it. And if he's going to run like that the rest of the game, they have no chance.
3rd down and 7 for the Patriots. Ball at the Brown 48. Millen's pass caught by Michael Timpson, but they ruled him out of bounds. And there were some Patriot players and coaches over there that got a good look at it who think Timpson was inbounds. Let's take a look.
Well, we're watching here. Timpson, watch this now. Timpson catches the ball. He's in. I think it's a catch. Now, watch the reaction. The guy that you see go crazy on the sidelines, who is not dressing out today, right there in the red hat, right there at Simpson's feet, Irving Fryar. He went crazy. Hey, if I could jump like that, I'd be out there today. I'll tell you what. I don't know how injured he is because he got up about 2 feet in the air.
Irving Fryar with a hamstring, had a rough week. Sean McCarthy to punt it away for the Patriots. Eric Metcalf, a half-hearted fair catch call at the 10. So New England unsuccessful again. Cleveland up 9-0.
We're back here, but you know, Dan, when I was talking about Irving Fryar on the sideline showing that he's still being able to move around even injured, look, watch this move here by Irving in the red hat.
I think he'd like to make the call and wear the stripes today for New England. Irving Fryar, it's been a rough week for him, as we mentioned. He's out of the lineup today with a hamstring pull, and just on Thursday, his 2-year-old daughter had successful heart surgery, so he has been shuttling back from the hospital in practice and was unable to play today in a game which he wanted to get into because he feels that this team can really beat Cleveland today. This is Kevin Mack for Cleveland, the ball carrier. David Poole forced him out of bounds. And Irving Fryar, really the heart and soul of this team on offense, and the big play guy that Hugh Millen would love to have on the field but doesn't today.
Well, you know, you talk about guys like Irving Fryar, Mark Clayton, Jerry Rice. These are the big league players, and I remember a couple of weeks ago they played against the 49ers here, played very well for 3 quarters, and the guy that covered Jerry Rice most of the game was Maurice Hurst, and he came up and told Irving after the game, hey, he's no better than you. You're as good as Jerry Rice, who a lot of people think is the best that's ever played.
Fryar had a 54-yard touchdown last week against Miami. This is Tomczak spinning in the backfield, and he'll run it out on 2nd down and 3.
It looks like Tim Goad, the nose guard, was tackled in the backfield by big Ed King, the right guard. Now, Tomczak got a little pressure and tried to get back outside, but probably go back.
Holding call against the Browns.
And that's something Tomczak brings to this offense, a little bit more mobility than Kozar. He can get out of trouble a little quicker.
Holding, number 68 offense, penalized half the distance to the goal, repeat 2nd down.
He does have a little bit more mobility than Kosar, Dan. In fact, Kosar was sacked 11 times in the opener for Cleveland this year, and there is some talk that perhaps it's not all the offensive line's fault and that Mike Tomczak is a little bit more mobile, so that's been one of the reasons why the Browns' sack totals have not been as high when Bernie's in the game.
Well, we look at this graphic. Hey, they had an awful day the first day. Jay Hilgenberg, first start for the Cleveland Browns. Since then, the offensive line has gotten a lot better, and the quarterback is making quicker reads and getting out of trouble quicker.
2nd down and 12. Michael Jackson and Sean Collins, the wideouts for Tomczak, and he'll go to Kevin Mack. And he is forced out of bounds. short of the first down.
That's the second cameraman Mack has knocked down today. I tell you what, this guy leads the league in knocking cameramen off their feet.
Can a photographer get on IR?
I don't know, but he may have a lawsuit because that guy hits you. You don't want it.
The Mack truck for Cleveland on injured reserve the first 4 weeks of the season, and Bill Belichick had a slight grin on his face when we asked him about Kevin Mack and his importance to this Browns offensive running attack yesterday.
Well, the thing is that his optimum goal is balance on offense. Now, when you got a Kevin Mack healthy and in the backfield, you can rush the ball or you can pass it.
Well, Leroy Horde is back there on 3rd down and 4 in the shotgun. Tomczak was to throw, but play has been stopped.
Prior to the snap, delay a game on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd
So
down.
Howard Rowe, the referee, with a 5-yard penalty. The Browns not getting the play off in time.
You know, talking about how the temperature has been dropping here, pretty chilly here. You see Belichick kind of bundled up, but, you know, one of the great things about Tomczak in this game is, you know, he played in Chicago all those years, went to Green Bay last year, now in Cleveland. He's no stranger to sub-freezing weather.
Well, it's 3rd down and 9. The Patriots in the nickel package. Cleveland 3 for 8 on 3rd down so far, and this time they will go with a draw play to Kevin Mack, and he has nowhere to run, so the Patriots stop the Browns. Tim Goad on the tackle for New England, and here comes the punting unit and a chance for the Patriots to get excellent field goal position.
Well, there's Tim Goad. Now, this guy is a very important part of this offense. You see number 72 in the middle of your screen. They're working against Ed King, the big right guard who was a 2nd-round pick last year. They have high hopes. But Tim Goad, I think, is still one of the finest nose guards in the AFC. Not as great as pass rusher as you'd like, but plays the run excellent.
Well, Brian Hansen will come out for the first time today. The first punt for Cleveland. Walter Stanley back deep, standing at his own 45-yard line. Hansen 4th in the AFC with a 44-yard average, and he'll try to boom one, but did not get a good one off. It bounces before midfield and will roll out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. So the Patriots, who picked up their very first down of the game last series, will try to get something for real here after the 41-yard punt. Well, next Saturday on NBC, Florida's Gulfstream Park plays host to horse racing's biggest day, the Breeders' Cup. The day's showcase race is the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. The spotlight will be on Jockey Club Gold Cup winner Pleasant Tap, along with 91 Kentucky Derby winner Strike the Gold, the Belmont Stakes winner AP Indy, plus 6 other championship races. It's a stellar field. It's all next Saturday at 1:30 p.m. and it's only here on NBC. So 1st down and 10, 2:37 to go for the Patriots, who have yet to score. 9-0 Cleveland on 3 Matt Stover field goals.
Well, you can see there by the graphics, their offense has had an awful hard time getting anything started this year. They're in their 2-minute offense now.
Millen to throw, and he'll be sacked again.
Michael Dean Perry, a name that a lot of people in Cleveland have come to signify great pressure up the middle. You'll see number 92 here working on the left guard. They're trying to turn. He slides back across Rakosi, the shotgun center there, number 71. Rakosi comes in when they go to the shotgun or 2-minute offense. There Perry slides back inside that turn block, makes it look easy.
Well, Perry told us yesterday that he's slowly rounding into midseason form. He had knee surgery in June, then he re-injured the knee in the first game this season, so he has not been 100% for the Browns. And Millen to pass, right side. He'll find number 34, Kevin Turner. And Turner will bound across for a gain of 13. It was 3rd down and 14, so he should be just short of the 1st down.
Well, they went with the shotgun the first time. Their offensive line could not slow Cleveland's defense down. They went back to an I formation, tried a little play action pass there, were able to get it off.
Well, Mike Johnson's the one that forced him out of bounds, and we'll be back to Foxborough. Cleveland 9, the winless Patriots still yet to score. Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with that trio right there. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and Will McDonough.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of Halloween, doesn't it?
What's that? Reminds me of what?
Halloween. Kind of a scary picture.
Yes.
Oh, just teasing, guys.
The Cleveland Browns up 9-0. The New England Patriots trying to pick up their second first down of the game. It is 3rd down and 1. Millen is 4 for 9, 32 yards. The ball across midfield. The Patriots in Brown territory, and Millen backpedals, and he'll get the first down as his pass is complete to the tight end, Marv Cook.
Well, they finally go to the tight end over the middle. Cook goes in there, it frees up, finds a little hole. Hugh Millen has always looked for him right there.
Well, Cook told us last week that they would find a way to win, even if it was to cheat. Yes, he told us last week. He had the quote of the week.
He says, I'm ready to do anything, even start cheating if I have to.
Millen from the shotgun. This one intended for the other tight end, Ben Coates. Coates can't hang on. Brandon, the New England Patriot, or rather the Cleveland Brown, on the coverage.
Well, finally, New England has gotten the ball moved down closer to that Cleveland end zone now, going to 37. And we talked early in the show about how tough that Brown defense gets closer. You back it up to that goal line.
Well, there is a look at Cleveland defensive coordinator Nick Saban. His defensive unit started the game 13 quarters without allowing a touchdown. They are now through 14 and are just a minute 26 away from upping that total to 15. Millen, as he went down, gets it off to Ben Coates at the 30-yard line. So the Patriots with a chance to get on the board, and Millen will call a timeout with a minute 13 to play in the first half.
Well, Millen looks a lot sharper now in the second quarter than he did in the first half. You know, we talked about that brace, the left shoulder, not playing last week. It really seemed to affect some of his touch, and that's what he brings to this offense. He has a real good touch with the ball. Now he's finally being able to thread the needle a little bit and getting it into some of those tight holes.
Dick McPherson said yesterday that he wants to find out if Hugh Millen is indeed the man to quarterback the New England Patriots into the future. The fifth-year man out of Washington. He's big, 6'5", 220. But before this game, he had been sacked 25 times in his first 5 starts for the Patriots.
Well, I think we've all seen how Coach McPherson is going crazy there. Basically, he said he called timeout and the clock still ran another 6-7 seconds off. Coach Mack, get him we'll get a look at him here. We might have to get him a little decaf at the half there, Dan. He gets a little excited out there. But you love it.
He's upbeat. Like that.
Yeah, you got to love playing for a guy that really cares about the game.
3rd down and 3 for the Patriots. Millen going down the sidelines, and that is complete. No, it is not complete. John Vaughn thought he had it, but he is ruled out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Dick McPherson wants another explanation.
You know, we hear time and time again how, well, you know, hey, the game of inches and all that. Watch this. The offensive line does a great job picking up a stunning blitzing defense. Here, Vaughn runs a great pattern. He was only able to get 1 foot down after an excellent throw by Hugh Millen. Now, like I said, this is what it means when you say a game of inches. Sure, it's lined out in yards, but it's a game of inches then.
Well, at first it appeared that Vaughn could have been in bounds, but there is Dick McPherson watching, and you could see on the replay that the left foot did not get down. You need 2 for a completion, and more frustration for McPherson. That brings up 4th down, another timeout on the field.
You know, you talk about 0-6. How can a professional football team have any pride of being 0-6? Well, it's just a couple of plays like that. They hit that play. Hey, they go in halftime probably 9-7. So, you know, it's a game. It's a play here, a missed tackle here, a drop ball here. Hey, 3 or 4 or 5 plays a game, you're 0-6, 0-7. So those are the type of plays that the good teams make. Thus far this year, New England has not made enough of those.
Well, it would be a 47-yard field goal, but on 4th and 3 and a minute 8 to go, Hugh Millen trots back out onto the field.
Last week we saw New England get up 10-0 against the Dolphins, the last unbeaten team in the league. And then basically they stood around and waited for bad things to happen. At least we're seeing this New England offense try to make something good happen right here at the end of the half.
4th down and 3. The Patriots 2 of 7 on 4th down attempts this year, but they'll get this one as Ben Coates picks up the 1st down for the Patriots. Vince Newsom dragged him down.
Okay, we talked about how we got to get those tight ends involved. Marv Cook was doubled. Let's go to the other guy.
And here's the hurry up. Less than a minute to go. Millen just throws it down. That'll stop the clock with 51 seconds to go. The ball on the 24-yard line.
Possibly offsides against the Cleveland defensive front. Yes. Looks like the left tackle, Jimmy Jones, is rolling a little bit
Offside,
early.
number 90 defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, the Cleveland defense has bent but not broken this year. They've given up their fair share of yardage, Dan.
Well, that was Rob Burnett, but like I said a few minutes ago, hey, the closer you back these guys to that end zone, the tougher they become. And not only that, their pass rush really steps up here. New England, to have a chance, has to pass block.
Well, 1st down and 5. The ball on the 19-yard line. Millen, his pass. Marv Cook unable to get a hand on it, and it'll be 2nd down and 5.
Well, that was good execution. They got the defensive line stopped. Marv Cook run a great pattern. Unfortunately, the linebacker had great coverage on him. Right here you see going over the back a little bit. But basically, that was a well-executed play. Now that they've been trying to concentrate on throwing that ball inside the numbers, maybe it's a good time to throw the fade here by Millen.
2nd and 5, ball on the 19. Greg McMurtry in motion to the left side. Millen has some time and flips it out to Michael Timpson. He's unable to come up with a catch, and it is 3rd down and 5. Mike Johnson on the coverage.
Once again, a very easy little chunk. Hey, you get this ball to Timpson, who's lined up on a linebacker there. Hey, that's a big gainer. Didn't get a ball that the receiver could catch.
Well, there is Dick McPherson, whose club has a 3rd down and 5 situation now with 42 seconds left in the 1st half. They are down 9-0, and Millen will throw. And this one is complete to Kevin Turner, who drags some Browns across the goal line for the touchdown. The first given up by the Cleveland Browns in 15 quarters.
Now, I don't know who it was. It may have been Frank Minifield, who tried to make a play on the ball. Excellent throw by Millen, able to thread it in there, getting the receiver into the end zone.
Kevin Turner, the rookie out of Alabama, and you talk about extra effort to make this happen.
Watch this. Right there, no, it was a linebacker. I don't know what the number was, but the linebacker makes an effort to try to go for the ball rather than try to tackle a receiver. He catches the ball, Turner into the end zone for the first touch.
Well, that was Eric Turner, carried by Kevin Turner on the 19-yard pass play for the touchdown. Charlie Bauman has the extra point. And all of a sudden, it is 9-7. Cleveland up on the Patriots. And you talk about an emotional man on the sidelines for the Patriots. Check out Dick McPherson.
Well, not only is that a touchdown, hey, they did something. You know, we talked about Cleveland probably getting very close to holding opposing teams out of their end zone for 15 quarters. Hey, that's a happy man.
That is the first New England touchdown in the 2nd quarter this year. The Cleveland Browns defensive unit went 14 quarters without allowing a touchdown before giving one up here in the final seconds of its 15th quarter. There is Nick Saban, and I guess they can at least stop talking about the streak in Cleveland. Frankly, many of the defensive players were tired of talking about that. That is Bill Belichick.
That's Belichick. Nick Saban, the defensive coordinator, up in the box. No, that's not Nick Saban jumping out of the box. It's I got to tell you something. You know, having played defense and been a part of some really good defenses, you take great pride in stats like that. Now, you know, hey, that defense put together an amazing string, but hey, you can start another one the next game or even the next half.
So with 35 seconds left in the first half, there is new hope for the Patriots, who didn't even pick up a first down until the second quarter. The big 19-yard strike from Hugh Millen to Kevin Turner, who scores his first NFL touchdown.
Well, you know, that is what you want out of an offense. Hey, your back's against the wall, you haven't done anything. Hey, go out there and do something.
Randy Baldwin from the 14-yard line for the Browns, across the 25, across the 30, across the 40, and he'll get all the way up to the 48-yard line. So with 27 seconds left, the Browns have a chance to put something up on the board. David Wilson on the stop, a 34-yard return for Baldwin. Baldwin was signed off the Vikings practice squad last November, and he is second in the AFC in kickoff with a return average of 24.1. And he brings back Cleveland in good shape. Here, the ball on the 48-yard line, first down and 10.
You know, we talked to Belichick yesterday. He says Tomczak has a real good feel for this offense. He can run the 2-minute if he has to.
Here is Kevin Mack pulling his way across the left side. Rod Smith, the left corner, on the stop.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to try to get anything done here. Just run the clock a little bit and go in. But Mike Tomczak is a very efficient quarterback in that 2-minute offense. I'm kind of shocked that they're not even going to try to get it down for a field goal.
Well, a 20-second timeout. And Bill Belichick, whose offense continued its character from last week, using long drives, not always able to get into the end zone, getting up 9-0 on the Patriots. But when you rack up all those field goals and the other team throws a touchdown, and it can quickly close the gap as New England is just 2 points down.
Well, they're just one kick away from being behind, and you know, your defense has played pretty well most of the game. Then all of a sudden, boom, they go down, they get a drive going. I just think that the New England offense, they've got an awful lot of reasons why they wouldn't make something happen. Well, they went out there and they made it happen. Hugh Millen threw some good passes, receivers ran good routes, they did things right, and of course that offensive line held that Cleveland rush off of him, giving him time.
The Browns in Patriots territory, second down and 5, 12 seconds and counting to go in the first half, and Eric Metcalf has the ball across the 30-yard line, time running down 4, 3, and the Browns just in time, utilizing another one of their timeouts. 18 yards on the pass play to Metcalf, and that is in good shape now for Matt Stover to perhaps kick his 4th field goal and lengthen the lead.
Well, I tell you what, you know, Jim McMahon got an awful lot of credit in Chicago for being a very skilled and gifted quarterback, especially in 2-minute. I always thought Mike Tomczak learned a lot and maybe was better than McMahon in the end, moving the ball in 2-minute drills. And there we saw Tomczak. He's a very mature quarterback. He doesn't get flustered. He goes back. He knows what the reads are. We saw him pick Metcalf out for a big strike, getting down into field goal range.
3 seconds left. Brian Hansen holds for Matt Stover. Hansen is the punter.
You know, I've
this
often
will be
wondered,
a 44-yard attempt for Stover.
I've often wondered how these guys stand around all day, and we've all stood around out in the cold weather. Your feet go numb. Now, I wonder what this feels like, kicking one of these hard footballs after standing around.
Well, he has the wind with him as Stover gets it free, but it is no good. So the New England Patriots off a touchdown, and the closing seconds of the second half are within 2 of the Cleveland Browns at the half. And we'll be back with the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report after this Coors Light halftime stats. Cleveland may have more yardage, Dan, but the Patriots are still in the game.
Well, they are. You know, Cleveland has dominated the statistical end of the game. New England was basically certified dead until about 10 minutes left in the game. Then their offense came alive. They kick the coffin door off. They put together a touchdown drive. They're right back in it.
Well, the Patriots didn't pick up their first down of this game until the second quarter. They had all 4 of their first downs in the second quarter, and just in the closing seconds of the first half, they pick up the touchdown, so they're only down 9-7.
Well, not only that, but Cleveland has not allowed a touchdown for 14 quarters. Finally, they get one right before the half. So they've got a big high going into the locker room.
All right, so the New England Patriots trailing 9-7. This is the position that Dick McPherson wanted to get his ball club into. And Cleveland will kick off. Walter Stanley and John Vaughn back deep for the Patriots. Taken by Stanley across the 20-yard line. The 25 brought down at the 28-yard line. Cedric Figaro, number 53, on the stop for Cleveland. So the New England Patriots trying to keep the momentum that they have headed into the locker room. As you can see, McPherson goes back even with the Cleveland Browns, the linebackers coach under Sam Rutigliano back in the late 70s.
You know, I've heard an awful lot of halftime speeches from a lot of different coaches, but I would have loved to have heard this one. He probably was cranked up like a wind tunnel, and they're telling these players, hey, we have been beaten early on, but now we've rallied. We're back in this thing. Let's go out there and get something else going.
McPherson looks at this as a second season for his club. Counting the exhibition games, this is the halfway point. He had to turn over a new leaf, give his club new life, and Hugh Millen finds Marv Cook, the tight end. So Millen comes out of the box, gets his first completion, and a first down for New England.
We talked earlier on about how we need to, you know, New England needs to get this offense going by using that tight end Marv Cook. Caught 82 passes last year. You got to throw it to a guy like this. Not really a possession guy. He can get the ball on down the field. But when you include him in the offense, you open up the outside guys and the running game.
Well, Marv Cook was short of the first down. It was a 7-yard gain, but that'll bring up second down and 3. The ball on the 35-yard line. Leonard Russell, the ball carrier. Rob Burnett. He makes the stop. Burnett played for McPherson at Syracuse. And in fact, Burnett was a little upset because McPherson cut down his playing time at linebacker when he was a senior at Syracuse. So Burnett says he's got a little something to prove
Offside,
to Coach Mack.
number 96 defense. Lined up in a neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, if Burnett played linebacker in college, this is his 3rd year. He's been spending an awful lot of time down at Burger King. He's about 265, and he's become a very physical defensive end for that Cleveland front. But, you know, overall, I think the New England offensive line has done a good job against what I think a very effective front for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the penalty was on number 96, James Jones. First down and 10 for the Patriots. Millen trying to throw. He's in trouble, and he will go down. A host of Browns there, including Burnett. The 3rd time that Millen has gone down. That makes it 28 total sacks on Hugh Millen for the season. He had 25 in his first 5 games.
Well, there is one big problem with this offensive line. They have not protected the quarterback as well as you have to. And, you know, that looked like a gang fight trying to get the Hugh Millen there. Let me tell you what, there's going to be another fight tomorrow in the film room. Hey, I got him first. No, you didn't. I touched him. I got. Well, I tell you what, when you go through a season, you get paid on performance. Little gimme sacks like that, you start fighting over them.
Well, there's 3 number 1 picks on that New England offensive line. It has been a much maligned front line for the Patriots. The loss brings up second down and 14. Millen pumps to the left side. And that is Marv Cook, the tight end. Vince Newsom on the stop.
Marv Cook, teamed with the other tight end, Ben Coates, gives New England a possession look with their passing game, especially now that Irving Fryer is not in the game today, out with a hamstring injury. You know, a guy we haven't even heard his name called once is McMurtry, the other wideout. So basically what has happened is they, instead of doubling Irving Fryer, they're doubling McMurtry. Now that's why the quarterback has to go to those tight ends and the other side of the football field.
3rd down and 11. Millen intended for Michael Timpson, and Terry Taylor there on the stop had a chance at the interception, but That'll bring out the punting unit for the Patriots.
Well, one of the strengths of this Cleveland defense is their secondary. You know, when you put Minifield and Terry Taylor at the corners, Turner and Newsome at the safeties, they can match up and cover very well. There, Taylor mad at himself for not catching that ball and running it back for a touch.
Sean McCarthy to punt for the Patriots. Eric Metcalf standing back at his own 15-yard line. Opening seconds of the second half, 9-7 Cleveland. And this time, McCarthy really gets a hold of one, and Metcalf, who signaled for the fair catch, fumbled it.
That is called a bobble. Now, he was outside the goal line, bobbled the ball, recovered it back in the end zone. That is not a safety or a touchback. It is a bobble.
A 60-yard punt for McCarthy. Here's Metcalf with a fair catch off of his right shoulder. And we'll be back to Foxborough right after. We're going to get back to the controversial call as the punt returner Eric Turner fumbled the ball close to his own goal line with Cleveland up 9-7. Here's Dick McPherson, who was angry that it wasn't called a safety, but
kind of looked like Archie Bunker there with that expression. Here, this is the ruling. Now, Metcalf tries to catch the ball. He never gets possession or gains control. He has a bobble. That's what they call it, a bobble. It carries him in the end zone. He recovers it. Now, if he had caught it and fumbled it, it would have been a safety. Never gained control. Good call.
So the ball out at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Tomczak looks to his left, and he has Sean Collins. Sean Collins made his first start as a Brown last week, caught his very first pass. He is a former first-round pick by the Falcons, where he had a great rookie year. In fact, he broke the rookie reception club mark with 58 in his very first year for Atlanta.
You know, Cleveland for a lot of years had what a lot of folks call a vanilla offense. It really wasn't exciting, but when you start adding up the type of talent they have with Collins and Jackson, Lawyer Tillman at wideout, Eric Metcalf, Tommy Vardell, they've got a lot of weapons now.
Gain of 8 for Collins, 2nd down and 2 for the Browns. Ball on the 28. The pitch to Vardell across the 30, has the first down and more across the 35, where Eugene Lockhart brings him down.
You know, a guy that brings an awful lot of toughness to this Cleveland offense is number 83, Bavaro. You'll see him out here at the right of your screen, a tight end. There, he's knocking off the line of scrimmage, a big 250-pound linebacker. Now, don't tell me this guy's got a bad knee, because when you can take a linebacker like that, knock him off the line, give your back a big seam to make some yardage, you've still got a lot of NFL career left in you.
Well, the Giants cut Mark Bavaro. He had the bone graft to his left knee in February of '91. The Browns signed him, and Belichick says he gives us that added toughness. So does Tommy Vardell, the fullback, who gets the first down and 10 call.
You know, and that wasn't just some rookie that Bavaro was pounding on there. That was Andre Tippett, one of the finest outside linebackers in the game. And, you know, when you start adding up the fact that, you know, you got these tough guys over there on offense, you can go ahead and play that ball control and get that balance that Bill Belichick wants. And like I said, there's Mr. Tippett. I've always thought he was one of the great outside linebackers. Never had a lot of notoriety because New England never had that much success.
Well, successful talent there. Andre Tippett went to 5 straight Pro Bowls, and Mark Bavaro has a couple of Super Bowl rings. This is Vardell. Vincent Brown on the stop. Brown playing more confident now. He had a team-high, season-high 12 tackles last week, and he had 14 tackles against the Browns last year. So if there's any club that Vincent Brown likes to play against, it's the Browns.
Well, I don't think there's any question that Vincent Brown has finally gotten it back together. He missed some of the early part of the season with a neck injury. He said, hey, I was laying out on the field playing Seattle, and I was almost paralyzed, couldn't move for like 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, he was like, hey, I don't care if I play football again. I just want to be able to walk and play with my son. The paralysis left. He's now playing back up to that Pro Bowl form again, and that's a big plus for their defense.
It has really become the main force on the New England defense. 3rd down and 4. Tomczak's pass is dropped by Collins, and that'll bring out the punting unit for the Browns. So Mike Tomczak, who should have had a first down, but Collins wasn't able to hold on.
Well, in all fairness, Collins runs a quick slant after the clear out by Jackson. That was a very catchable ball. A little bit behind him. but you've got to make catches like that if you want to be a star in the NFL. He'll learn that.
So Walter Stanley back deep for the Patriots. Brian Hansen standing at his own 27. Stanley, fair catch called at the 24-yard line, and that's where the Patriots will get another chance. First and 10. Cleveland 9, the Patriots 7, and confident, still looking for their first victory of the season. Dick McPherson played some interesting psychology this week with his team. He told them that, hey, we have 3 #1 picks on our offensive line. We have a stable of powerful running backs, a solid defense. We have to start playing that way. It wasn't only until he had described that scenario that he told the team that those were the very words that Cleveland Browns' Bill Belichick used to describe how the New England team has the talent and they should be in position to win more games.
Well, he's just saying, hey, why can't we win? We got these guys. Let's go.
Here's Leonard Russell, and he fumbles the football. And it is still loose, recovered by the Browns. Eric Turner comes up with a turnover for Cleveland, which has forced a turnover in every single game this season. In fact, 21 out of the last 22 games, the Browns have forced a turnover.
Well, Leonard Russell here is trying to get outside, stretch that defense. This is the 19th turnover of the season by New England. Now, that is one big reason why they're 0-6, fast on the track to 0-7. You turn the ball over, especially at your end of the field, you're looking at some eggs.
Well, Eric Turner, who has a reputation as a big hitter, comes up with a fumble recovery from Leonard Russell. And there you see the graphic. There is a reason why the Browns have held opponents until the New England Patriots scored in the second quarter a touchdown here. They had that streak of 13 quarters, touchdownless to start the game, and now they have great field position. And on first down and 10, Tomczak throws, intended for Lawyer Tillman, incomplete.
David Poole makes a great play, getting his hand underneath the arm of Tillman, knocking the ball away. That's big league, but here you'll see Tomczak back floating. Hey, there he is. Let's fire it in there. Now watch. Through 2 defenders' hands, but basically Tillman, Poole there in the back, 27 is the reason Tillman did not catch him.
Awfully close to an interception there through the hands of Vincent Brown and Roger Brown. And David Poole, the left cornerback, also into the coverage.
You know, that's one of the, that's not indicative of Tomczak. Normally he will not try that type of pass. Too risky for Belichick in this offense.
Second down and 10. Mack trying to bull his way for some extra yardage. Roger Brown again on the stop. You're exactly right, Dan. There is a reason why Mike Tomczak is out there. It is not to make mistakes. They simplified the offense when he came in here 4 games ago, and until Bernie Kosar gets back and gets healthy and Todd Philcox gets back, the instructions to Tomczak are clear and simple. Don't turn the ball over and let our defense dictate the tempo of the game.
Well, you look at Cleveland there. They're +6 in turnover differential. New England -10 now. They came in -9, that fumble, -10. Like I said, that goes a long way of putting a team from winning and losing a game.
Third down and 8. 3 of 8 on third down conversions in this game, and Tomczak's pass is deflected.
Let me tell you something.
Brent Williams, number 96.
This defense has played inspired football all day. They are not giving up. They're playing hard. The last run, Mack tried to stretch the line to the run the ball wide to the left side. Hey, you had about 10 red shirts over there. Here you'll see them coming up the middle, collapsing that pocket and getting their hands up. Big Brent Williams, 96 there, batting the ball down. That's playing tough, aggressive defense.
Well, on comes Matt Stover to try to score his 4th field goal of the game. This one a 32-yard attempt. And it is no good. And the score remains 9-7. Cleveland. And suddenly the momentum has shifted in this game as the Browns up 9-7, 8:27 left in the third. Well, after connecting on his first 3 field goal attempts, Matt Stover is now 0 for 3 on his last 3 attempts.
He's just a little bit out of his range. Tried to overpower it, hooked it a little bit. And let me tell you something. Those fans look pretty excited. The team looks pretty excited. No one gets more excited than this guy. Look at that smile. Looks like the grill on a 46 Dodge, doesn't it? Look at that guy. I love this guy.
The grill on a 46 Dodge.
Hey, you gotta love it.
And I was trying to figure out a way to define Dick McPherson, and Dan Hampton comes out of nowhere. First down and 28-27 left in the first. The Patriots down 9-7. That is Kevin Turner, who has scored the only touchdown of the game. It happened late in the second quarter as he caught a Hugh Millen touchdown pass to make it 9-7.
Well, I think Leonard Russell is hurt a little bit worse than a lot of people realize, or maybe even the coaches. He was stripped on that last possession, put their defense in a big hole. Their defense rose to the occasion, stopped them. They missed the field goal. Hey, they've got new life. They're going to go back, change backs, and see if they can't get something going with that ground game.
Gain of 2, second down and 8. Play action, Millen to throw, and it is complete to Michael Timpson, who picks up the first down for New England.
That's one of the great offensive pass plays in the game. You get those receivers split out, you let them clear out, and then you get one of the little guys that come back underneath here. Those linebackers are really dropping deep, trying to get back and help in those zones. You run some little guy across in front, the linebackers can't catch him. Hey, you can bust a big play like that.
Timpson, the third-year man out of Penn State. And the Patriots with just their 5th first down of the game.
He's caught 2 balls, both for first downs.
Gain of 16 on that one, and on 1st and 10, John Vaughn reverses his field around the right side. He'll cross midfield, across the 40 and the 30, down inside the 25. Greg McMurtry had a great block to spring him. 37 yards on the carry by Vaughn, which takes over as the longest carry rushing yardage of the season on a single play for New England.
Here Vaughn goes into the point of attack where they're trying to create the seam. Hey, Cleveland played it excellent. Now he says, hey, I'm not going to go down easy. I'm going to fight. He bounces it back outside and breaks a long one. This is the longest run of any Patriot player the entire season.
37 yards and a first down at the 25-yard line. Vaughn taking over that longest run of the season title from Hugh Millen, who previously had it at 26. 1st and 10 on the ground again. This time, Kevin Turner.
If I was those offensive linemen and the quarterback had the longest run of the season, boy, I'd feel real bad about it. I bet those guys are going to pat John Vaughn on the back and say, thanks a lot. Hey, you really give us back some self-pride.
And there it is. The New England Patriots, all of their touchdowns this year coming through the air. While the San Francisco 49er quarterback Steve Young has 3 rushing touchdowns, the Patriots still looking for their first on the ground. 2nd and 7, 3-yard gain by Turner. That is McMurtry, motion to the left. Miller got it wide open. Number 87, Ben Coates. Touchdown, New England. 22 yards.
And Hugh Millen took a heck of a shot on that bad left shoulder. Now, he came out and had to have Novocaine in that shoulder. He stood in there, took the shot on it. It looks like he may be wrapped up now. But you cannot discount the fact, big-time toss to Ben Coates, the tight end, who was locked up one-on-one with the safety, Vince Newsom. You'll see Coates here. Of course, Hugh Millen here, you see right at the last second, he gets shot, get a shot by Burnett. But Ben Coates on an ISO pattern just runs away from Vince Newsom. Big-time catch, big-time throw.
Charlie Bauman on to try to make it 14-9 New England. This is the Patriots' 3rd lead of the entire season. And it's 14-9 with 5:15 left in the 3rd. The Patriots have new life in Foxborough. They have a lead on the Cleveland Browns. Hugh Millen shaken up on the touchdown pass to Ben Coates, but as you can see, he's up and throwing, warming up again as the Patriots have just their 3rd lead of this NFL season.
Well, I tell you what, their offense looks like they are just into a mindset where they will not be denied, and I think Hugh Millen's a big part of that.
Randy Baldwin back deep for the Browns. A good kick by Bauman, well into the end zone, and Baldwin will down it there where the Browns come out. Let's take another look at that touchdown pass from Millen to Ben Coates.
Well, we see Millen here, seeing that the seam pattern's open. He just lays it out there. Right at the last second, Burnett takes him down on that bad left shoulder. Now, he took some shots in overcam. He's talked about that. Hey, that was 4 hours ago. That thing has got to be killing him here. But let me tell you something. If John Wayne was wearing a red shirt tonight, it'd be that number right there.
Well, we've talked with Dick McPherson numerous times about the toughness of Hugh Millen. In fact, he wanted to play last week when Tommy Hodson got the start, but the coaches gathered together and said, well, Hugh Millen's a little bit too banged up. We don't want to sacrifice his health. He had a sprained knee. He's wearing the brace today. And he had the sore left shoulder. So he is up, and so are the Patriots.
It reminds you of that coyote in the Roadrunners deal. They blow him up, kill him, throw him off. He keeps coming back.
He just keeps coming out. 1st and 10 for the Browns. Swing pass to Metcalf. He is met by Dion Lambert. And the Patriots have taken over the momentum of this football game.
Guys, come on. You know, in a play like that, when they got a receiver wrapped up or a running back wrapped up or a quarterback, the official needs to get over there, make sure those players hear the whistle and let him go. There's no sense in running a guy down. I mean, the back, you know, he hears the whistle. Sometimes the defensive guy's a little overzealous. The whistle's blowing right now. Okay, let him go. Let him go. There's no sense for the takedown. You know, you're riding on a very gray area there that a lot of tempers can flare.
With Dion Lambert, the 4th-round pick out of UCLA.
You know, the thing is, the only thing that can happen, you're not going to be called a big, tough guy. You're going to get your team in a bind by getting a penalty. You know, come on, Dion. Relax a little bit.
2nd down and 14 for the Browns on a 4-yard loss. This is Bardell, left side. Lambert, Roger Brown force him out of bounds. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, that last play, number 33, Leroy Horde right there. You'll see him. He's lined up as a wing back. He gets a great block out there on the safeties, Roger Brown. Now, that's the reason that play was able to get around the corner. Horde is one of those guys that can do it all. He's almost like Mack in the sense that he's a big enough guy to block and move a pile on short yardage, but he still has enough nifty that he can get in and outside and run the ball.
3rd down and 9 for the Browns. Less than 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Jackson and Collins, the wideouts. Terry Metcalf also in the slot. And Tomczak will throw deep. Intended for Lawyer Tillman, broken up, incomplete. Randy Robbins and Rod Smith in there for the Patriots. So on 4th down and 9, the Cleveland punting unit comes on again.
You know, we talked with Maurice Hurst yesterday about the secondary, how they haven't played that well. They've given up a lot of deep passes. He said, hey, we needed a leader to emerge, and maybe Randy Robbins is the guy we need to emerge. There, he made a good play, stopping a pass that could have been completed.
Hansen at his own 7. Walter Stanley back on the 40-yard line. And he'll take it from the 40. Across the 45, across midfield. Walter Stanley is across the 30, 20, 15. Brought down at the 11-yard line.
Hey, the guy they call MC Hammer just hammered him with a big return.
40 yards on the punt return. 50 yards. Actually, the punt was 40.
You know, we talk about momentum in a game. Cleveland was in control up until the point where the Patriot offense scored right before the half. Ever since then, the New England Patriots don't look like an 0-6 football team. They look about 5-1, 4-2, and Cleveland may have been lulled to sleep early. They're paying for it now because New England is red hot.
Well, Walter Stanley caught his first pass as a Patriot last week. There is Hammer, who likes to wear shades in practice.
Hey, one of the players said, hey, I don't know what planet he's from, but, you know, he can play.
8th-year man out of Colorado. Dick McPherson described Stanley as one of the most exciting players he's had on this Patriot squad, and Walter Stanley with a 50-yard return has put New England in great shape. And a timeout on the field. The New England Patriots up 14-9 and threatening again. Well, we were in Miami last week when the New England Patriots lost their 6th straight to start this season, and what a change in mood on the Patriots sideline this week in Foxborough. At least right now they're up 14-9. That is Walter Stanley, who just brought a punt back 50 yards down to the Browns' 11-yard line, where the Patriots are poised again to score with 3:25 left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's great. A lot of times an 0-6 team, you see guys pointing at each other. It's great to see them giving high fives and hugging each other. So, these guys are embarrassed about the fact that they're 0-6, and finally they've had enough. They want to go out and do something about it.
From the 11. John Vaughn on the carry. The ball comes loose. Mike Johnson was in there.
Well, Mike Johnson, their excellent middle linebacker for this Cleveland defense, ran through on that last play. And a lot of times when your back doesn't clear quick enough, you'll see number 59 right to the left of your screen run through. Now, they teach those linebackers to string it out. But if you go backdoor and you run behind the block, you make the tackle. Because if you don't, the guy could score. That was a textbook example of a linebacker running through behind the block, making a big play.
11 tackles and a sack for the defensive captain of the Cleveland Browns, a 2-time Pro Bowler. He is the team's leading tackler. 2nd down and 11. Rolling to his right as Mellon gets rid of it. Incomplete.
This defense of the Cleveland Browns didn't do it with mirrors. I mean, to hold an opponent out of your end zone for 14 quarters for a score is an amazing feat. And, their pride's a little bit wounded now. It looks like they decided to bow up and attack the line of scrimmage. Early on they had their way. Then all of a sudden New England came back. It looks like they're trying to get back in the flow of the game. And there Nick Saban, the defensive coordinator, says, hey, one more down and let's just hold them to a field goal.
Well, this Cleveland Browns defense had given up an NFL record low 6 touchdowns before this game. They have given up 2 to the Patriots.
Watch for Michael Dean Perry to attack the gap and try to make a big play here.
3rd and 11. Millen. Pump fake. He had a man open. He had Michael Timpson wide open, but wasn't able to get him the football.
It's hard enough to play quarterback in this league, but when you go out there and you're beat up, man, it's really tough to sit in the pocket, look for a receiver, then at the last second, make that quick move. I tell you what, not covering for Hugh Millen, he's made some good throws, and then some of these throws haven't been up to the caliber that you usually see from the quarterback, Hugh Millen. He's got a lot of touch. We've only seen it in sporadic parts of the game today.
So on 4th and 11, Charlie Bauman comes in. Ball on the 12. It'll be about a 30-yard attempt for Bauman. And he'll tack on another 3 points for the Patriots, who lead it 17-9. 2:36 left in the 3rd quarter.
Now, New England is no stranger to having a lead late in the game, 3rd and 4th quarter. They led Miami early. They led San Francisco the week before in the 4th quarter. Now we see what they can do when they've got the lead, and they have to protect it.
Well, that lead against Miami didn't last long at all. 38 unanswered points for the Dolphins on Dick McPherson's club. But we will see if the Patriots can hold off the Browns here today. Bill Belichick, whose team is on the road for 3 straight, trying to sweep all of their games in the month of October. Down 17-9 to the only unbeaten team in the NFL.
This guy we're talking about with, Belichick on the other sideline, he's done an amazing job here, almost at the halfway point, his 2nd year. He has totally changed his Cleveland Brown team. And talking to Mike Tomczak yesterday, he said, hey, we was on the last bus coming to practice. We looked around, there's only 1 guy on the bus drafted by Cleveland. Only 13 still remain on the roster from 2 years ago. So he knows what he wants to do, and he's trying to implement it right now.
Bill Belichick picked up his first NFL win here last year when the Browns shut out the Patriots in the home opener. Just his second year as coach of the Browns, brought the team back from a 3-13 year the year before to 6-10 last year, and trying to get him over the hump this year. Randy Baldwin and Eric Metcalf takes the kickoff. He is across the 20, flags all over the place.
Well, when those flags start looking like tracer missiles coming in there, it's usually a bad clip, and rightfully so. The game's hard enough on the players without clipping people. Let's see what exactly happened here. Oh, here we go. We got a hold. Somebody breakdancing up the field.
Personal foul on a return team. Number 88, low block, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Referee Howard Rowe with a call. Brian Kinchin.
Is it on the red-shirted team? They backed it off.
So the ball at the 10-yard line. There is Kinchin.
Kinchin has a sinking feeling.
1st and 10 for the Browns at the 10-yard line. They are down 17-9. Tomczak over to Michael Jackson. Complete. Maurice Hurst there to wrestle him down. A little bit of a mismatch there. 5'10" Hurst on the 6'4" Michael Jackson. Next Saturday on NBC, Florida's Gulfstream Park plays host to horse racing's biggest day. It's the Breeders' Cup. Spotlight will be a Jockey Club Gold Cup winner Pleasant Tap, along with 91 Kentucky Derby winner Strike the Gold, and 92 Belmont Stakes winner AP Indy also there, plus 6 other championship races with stellar fields. It's all next Saturday at 1:30 p.m. right here on NBC. 2nd down and 3 for the Browns. That is Leroy Horde blocking for Vardell, who picks up the 1st down and more across the 20. Eugene Lockhart.
Now, Eugene Lockhart, who came to New England last year in a deal with Dallas, is a great run-stopping middle linebacker. Here they try a little stunt up there with Goad and the other linebacker, Singleton. Lockhart getting off his block a little bit late, didn't gather himself, and there you see the power of Tommy Vardell. He was able to knock Lockhart back, carry him for the 1st down.
There's Eugene Lockhart, 9th year.
Now this guy can...
7 seasons with Dallas. 1st and 10. The Browns would like to power it up the middle again, and that is Vardell.
Now, there again you see it.
And a flag on the play.
Probably on number 59, who came in late with a spear. Now, you know, that's what you see from a team that's 0-6. They get a little frustrated. They're in control of the game. They're ahead. They need to control their emotions and just play defense.
Number 47 defense. Slug with an elbow. 15-yard penalty.
To go in the 3rd quarter. And Roger Brown picks up the penalty for New England.
Well, my mistake. I thought it was number 59, but that was a shot by Roger Brown trying to get Vardell down. Now, you know, I think it's important for that defensive line to get him stopped up closer to the line of scrimmage. You start getting those, say, oh, that's what it was.
A little bit of both there,
yeah,
mixing it up.
Well,
with
Sean Collins was hanging on him, and he was just trying to bat him off of him.
1st and 10 Browns, ball at midfield. Vardell slips out of the backfield before Brent Williams brings him down for maybe a yard. The Browns, who began this game with 2 big pass plays, now electing to churn it up the middle here to try and play catch-up against the Patriots. They have time.
Offside. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Now, we've had a couple of penalties here on this drive against New England, and It's hard enough to play defense without shooting yourself in the foot there. The defensive line getting a hard count from Tom Zach, who is still one of the best in the league at that. Jump a little bit early.
Both teams penalized 5 times. That was Goad and Tim Edwards moving on the defensive front for the Patriots. And on 1st and 5, the handoff is to Vardell. Edwards on the stop. And that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So the New England Patriots will take the lead on the Cleveland Browns as we head to the final and 4th quarter. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. This is the Patriots' 3rd lead this season, but only their 2nd as they head into the 4th quarter. They were up on the San Francisco 49ers earlier this year as they head into the 4th stanza. And we'll see if they can hold on. Mike Tomczak at the controls. 2nd and 2, and he'll throw. Or will he? He goes down. Tim Goad and Brent Williams.
Fumble.
And that is Andre Tippett, who saw nothing but green ahead of him, but the play was called down.
Well, while we were in break, I said, you know what? Hilgenberg's got his hands full with Tim Goad. Here, we'll see Tomczak go back, trying to get a freebie. 2nd and short. A lot of quarterbacks want to go ahead and try to chunk it down there, thinking they get the 1st and 3rd. New England was waiting, collapsed the pocket. Tippett, Goad, all of them were on him. Let me tell you, when you're 0-6, it's hard to find guys that want to play. When you start playing like this, everybody wants to be out there.
Well, the Dolphins accused the Patriots last week, at least Brian Cox did, the Miami linebacker, of this team quitting in the 3rd quarter. The Patriots denied it, and on 3rd and 10, Tomczak fires, and that is Randy Robbins, who delivered a shot to Leroy Hoare.
Talked in the 3rd quarter about if this secondary is going to find a leader, I think it's going to be number 48, Robbins, to step up. Here, you see Tomczak dancing, scanning that field. They're back in a soft zone. They've got to try to find a receiver before he clears. There, Robbins comes up, grads the receiver, knocking the ball loose.
Well, we talked with Maurice Hurst, the cornerback for the New England Patriots. He said, hey, what this secondary needs is a leader. And he mentioned that Randy Robbins could be the catalyst all those years, 8 years spent with Denver, Super Bowl teams. Walter Stanley back to receive the Brian Hansen punt. And this time he'll take a knee. The last punt, he returned 50 yards to put the Patriots in the field goal position. 32-yard punt. Next week, NBC Sports, another exciting lineup of NFL action at 12:30 Eastern. It all begins with NFL Live. Then many of you will see these New England Patriots, and if they can get a win, who knows what could happen in Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The Miami Dolphins and the Jets. Houston visits Pittsburgh in an AFC Central key matchup. The Oilers at 5-2. Pittsburgh just a half game behind, and Cleveland at 3-3. .25 to go in a game. 1st and 10, ball on the 19. John Vaughn with a handoff, and he may have lost it. The Browns think they have it.
They'll have to let him sort it out.
We'll wait.
But it looked like John Vaughn was following Kevin Turner into the hole.
Indeed they do.
Kevin Turner got stuffed by one of the linebackers. Vaughn, unaware, ran into the back of him. Ball pops loose. Now that, you know, 0-6, you don't do things like that. Here, we'll watch it here. You see 24, Vaughn having to regather himself. He ran right into his lead back, bouncing off, and the ball bouncing away.
And who else but David Brandon would come up with a recovery? He's the big play man on his Browns defense. He's been a part of 5 of the Browns' 12 takeaways this season, and now it's 6 out of the 13 takeaways. And
this guy could be a great pickpocket, you know what? He's always getting something free.
Well, he had an interception return for a touchdown last October against his old mates in an overtime win. And now the Browns have a chance to get back on the scoring column. Vardell with a carry. Tim Edwards on the stop. Kevin Mack, that was, on the rush.
You know, I spoke a few minutes ago about how New England had the lead against Miami. It faded. They came unglued in the second, third quarters. Then against Frisco, they were up 12-10. Then they fell apart in the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see how they hold the water here down by the goal line. You know, when you're up 17-9, no mistakes, and you pretty much control the game. They fumble. We'll see how they react.
2nd and 8, ball on the 16. Mack across the 15. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
I don't think there's many players in the league that I respect more than Kevin Mack. You know, he's been a big part of this Cleveland team, even way back in the '86 season, Marty Schottenheimer's first year. I remember we got ready for a game with him to start the season, and all our coaches wanted to talk about was their backfield. They had Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack, and, you know, Ernest went on to Washington, has done some big things there, but this guy has been someone you could build an offense around, and we see him, and the going's tough. He's still banging away.
3rd and 6. Tomczak, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down. So the Patriots will force a field goal from Cleveland.
Tomczak never able to set. We'll watch from the right side of the screen here. Brent Williams standing up as a linebacker on a 2-man stunt, coming around, getting some pressure on Tomczak, creating a bad toss.
So Matt Stover will come in. He has missed his last 3 attempts. And although the distance has become shorter and shorter, he has failed to make it. This is a 32-yard attempt, and this time he has the distance, and it is good. So with the Stover's 4th field goal of the game, the Browns pull within 17 to 12. 12:33 left from Foxborough. Dan Hicks back with Dan Hampton in Foxborough, the New England Patriots, with a 17-12 lead on Cleveland. Matt Stover has just kicked his 4th field goal of the game, and this is Walter Stanley to bring it out across the 20. And that is where New England will take over. It's 1st and 10.
You know, Joe Collier, the defensive coordinator, is basically a conservative guy, but on 3rd down, he had David Howard, middle linebacker, attack this gap here. Tim go to collapse here, and then Brent Williams bring it around and get right in Tomczak's face to force a bad toss. Now you'll see it. Now that's a stunt. Now Ed King, the right guard, collapsed too far. You've got to hold your ground and pass off those rushmen. He didn't do it. Great stunt by New England.
Patriots up 17-12. Hugh Millen. He's been banged around again this week. This pass incomplete, intended for Timpson.
You know, it's a cold, damp, chilly evening here in Foxborough, and it seems like Millen, when he comes off the bench, he's cold and he's stiff. He throws the ball a lot better the longer the offense is on the field, and there, you know, that was a weak toss, but it's hard to stay loose on these cold, damp nights when you got a bad shoulder, a bad left knee.
Even with the injuries, Millen has tossed a couple of touchdown passes this afternoon. 12 for 25, 116 yards. He sat out last week against Miami. Started today in place of Tommy Hotson, and is trying to get New England its 1st win of the season. 2nd down and 10. Millen will throw, and he'll swing it out to John Stevens for a loss on the play. David Brandon, the left outside linebacker.
Well, they ran out of time on that series. Millen lucky to get the ball off. They ran it down to 1 second. They weren't able to get a receiver to bring the linebacker back out of the play area in motion. So basically they ran a play into a loaded defense there. They got a penalty.
Howard Rowe with the call.
Illegal contact on the defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So the Patriots pick up the 1st down on the penalty.
We'll see on that little quick screen, what you want is your receiver to break the line of scrimmage and force those corners and safeties to play honest and get away from the line. There, apparently someone from Cleveland was banging and holding on the line, which set up the bad screen.
Ball on the 26-yard line now. 1st and 10 for the Patriots. Under 12 minutes to play. Leonard Russell, we haven't seen him carry the ball in quite some time. Probably still a little tender on the hip. Gets maybe a yard. Brought down by Rob Burnett.
Once again, we talked about how this offense operates best when they include the tight end into the passing offense. Second and third quarters, they brought the tight ends into play. Ben Coates, Marv Cook, and they were able to open up the rest of the field for the running game and the outside passing offense. We haven't heard their name called in a while. Offense starting to bog down again.
2nd and 8. And this is Leonard Russell. Maybe a couple. Bring up 3rd down. Bill Johnson, who is in for James Anthony Pleasant at the right end position, made the stop. Johnson, the rookie out of Michigan State. He started week 2 and 3 of this season for Michael Dean Perry, who was injured on the first game, and Johnson will come out.
You know, Cleveland's got an awful lot of good-looking young guys on that defensive line. Of course, Burnett and Pleasant at the ends, James Jones and Michael Dean Perry, but now that Bill Johnson, he's a high pick, and they expect a lot out of him.
3rd and 7, Millen to throw. He's got a man open, and it's complete to Timpson, who picks up the 1st down. Minifield and Turner on the coverage, a gain of 15 for the Patriots.
Here we see Millen back. Like I said, the longer he can stay in the game and stay loose, the better he throws the ball. There, threaded the needle perfectly.
Excellent pattern run by Timpson, who was the national high school champion in the 110-meter hurdles in high school. And with Fryer out again today, the big play receiver for the Patriots, Timpson has proved to be critical in the Patriots offense today. 1st down. Ball on the 43. Millen rolls to his right. He's got the tight end Marv Cook. He drops the football, and the Browns come up with it.
Well, the reason
Frank Minifield has the football.
Well, the reason he dropped the ball is because he was popped by number 29, Eric Turner. There we'll see this little quick roll. Now, no, that's Minifield. That is Frank Minifield. Now, if you talk to this guy in person, you say, this guy can't hit anybody. He's tiny. Let me tell you something. Frank Minifield is one of the finest corners in the league in covering. There we can see that he come up and attack the football on run support.
Well, Minifield made his first start last week after battling through a urinary disorder. This is just his 2nd start of the season for the Browns. 3-time Pro Bowler.
Real interesting guy. You know, he charts out the opposing offenses on a computer and then addresses the team on Wednesday about what to look for in trends and tendencies.
Well, his computer calculations worked out that time as the Browns forced the 3rd New England turnover of the game. Bardell is stacked up by the Patriot defense, headed by Vincent Brown. Singleton also in there.
Yeah, we'll see the low angle there. Jackson in on the slot so he can try to seal off the inside. He doesn't get it done. The pursuit is able to get outside there and attack the ball carrier.
Bardell, not a good run on that one, but he has 60 yards on 14 carries for the game. As you look at Chris Singleton, 1st-round pick out of Arizona.
You know, you look at the linebackers on this New England defense. I mean, it's almost like a who's who. Vincent Brown, Singleton, Tippett, they've got a bunch of studs.
2nd down and 10. Tomczak has Mack out of the backfield. He has run out of bounds. Vincent Brown also ran him out.
No cameraman over there by the bench. Huh?
He's looking for more photogs.
Bumped his stats a little bit. You know, this guy right here, I tell you what, you've heard his name an awful long time, but he's still one of the finest corners in the league. And, you know, battling that blood disorder, Danny, he told me, you know, I didn't really understand it, but they tell me it's because I work out too hard. My kidneys can't take the purging of the water in my system. And, you know, I'm glad to see that he's back healthy enough to help this Cleveland Brown defense.
In his 9th year out of Louisville, Minifield has 18 career interceptions. He's never returned one for a touchdown, and you can hear the Foxborough crowd get up on 3rd down and 6. Tomczak all day to throw. Intended for Sean Collins, incomplete. Maurice Hurst.
Well, Mo
in
Hurst.
the backfield.
Well, Mo will be, you know, a lot of folks might say, hey, that's interference. It was not. Collins slowed down to adjust to the ball. You'll see it here. Tomczak throwing the ball. Now look at Hurst. He is playing the ball. He never looks at the receiver. He doesn't know he's there. He runs up his back, trips Collins, but it was basically an underthrown ball, and the defensive back just playing what he has.
Well, Cleveland turns one turnover into a field goal, but on the second turnover by New England, they get stuffed, and here is Hansen to punt. Walter Stanley will let it bounce. It really took a good bounce for the Browns there, as the Patriots will be pinned deep in their own territory. With 8:12 left, the New England Patriots a 17-12 lead on Cleveland. Well, the New England Patriots will actually have better field position than we first thought.
Well, Stanley, realizing he will not be able to field it, gets out of the way. Now the Cleveland Brown cover guy takes it there, releases it, fumbles it basically. Now they get it here. Now the field judge, 76, says, hey, I'll spot it here, but that is not correct. The covering team, the ball will be spotted where the covering team touched it first, which is up about the 9-yard line. That's why the ball's moved up 6 yards now.
Instead of the 3-yard line, New England takes over on the 9. And they've turned the ball over. The last 2 times, this is Leonard Russell around the right side for no gain. Clock ticking down, less than 8 minutes to go for the Patriots.
You know, Leonard Russell fumbled back in the 3rd quarter, and I find that when a running back or quarterback is injured, he'll fumble or throw interceptions a lot more readily than when they're healthy. And you know, Leonard Russell, I think, is a terrific running back, along with John Stevens, maybe the best duo in the AFC. But, you know, when you're injured, your mind strays a little bit from time to time with that pain. Sometimes you drop the ball.
Well, this is John Stevens on a 2nd down call. Phil Johnson on the stop. Look at the second half possessions now for the New England Patriots.
Well, except for the one play, excuse me, the one drive, the 5-play drive where they go for the touchdown, and then of course the next one where they get the field goal. You know, they've had some problems sustaining those drives, and that's one thing that Dick McPherson says, hey, we just want to try to get an offense that's balanced. We can control the clock and move the ball. They can't sustain many drives, and that's been one of the big problems.
Mistakes has also been a problem for the Patriots, who have 3 turnovers in this game. And the completion to Marv Cook, the tight end, for the first down. So New England on the 12-yard gain from Millen to Cook. Moves the chains.
Well, we're seeing both safeties, 29 and 22. Newsome and Turner play in and out there on Marv Cook. Hugh Millen waits till he clears the first guy, dumps it to him before he gets to the next guy. Marv Cook, one of the niftiest tight ends you'll ever want to watch, because he knows how to find those holes in the defense.
Cook, the Pro Bowl last year. This is Stevens. And he'll grind out a few more. Flag on the field.
Well, we're going to get a call, and the call would be Jimmy Jones, the left tackle on Cleveland's defense, jumping off sides. Now, that's the 2nd time. And the reason is Jay Hilgenberg, the center, and Tomczak, here we go.
Defense, offsides, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
They have worked together so long. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That is the left end. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Rob Burnett on a stunt charge trying to get down inside. You know, that is a great job of drawing the defensive lineman off strides and being able to get the quick snap and catch it. Much like Jay Hilgenberg. I was thinking, that reminds me so much of Jay. I couldn't believe that wasn't. That's something Hilgenberg will do to perfection.
Well, the penalty on Burnett brings up 1st and 5 now for the Patriots. Ball at the 35. Stevens picks up the first down and more.
Well, John Stevens is lined up as a fullback, but basically he's as fine a running back, a guy carrying the ball, as you want. Big and strong. Here we see him in the single back set, the ace formation, just going up to the line, bouncing until he finds a gash. Then he turns it upfield. He's about 216 pounds, and you see him run over a lot of safeties, like you just saw him knock Eric Turner on his side.
McMurtry throwing a fine block, which enabled Stevens to pick up the first down and more.
You know, when you look at this offense, and they've ranked really, really bad, like 25th, 6th in the league in rushing offense. When you look at their line, 3 #1 picks, and those 2 great backs, you know, it just makes you scratch your head.
The ball is across midfield for the Patriots. Stevens again the call. Brought down by Mike Johnson.
Well, I think it's safe to say New England's content to go ahead and let those big backs pound away on that clock, running it down, trying to wear down the Cleveland front.
Inside, less than 4.5 minutes to play. Bill Belichick, who told his team that the New England Patriots would be no pushovers, especially here in Foxborough. And all his offense has been able to muster today has been 4 Matt Stover field goals. On 2nd and 10, Millen will be dumped. And we'll be back to Foxborough, but let's head to our New York studios and an update with Bob Costas.
Okay, Dan, and Dan, here's Dan Marino. 12-yard touchdown pass to Tony Martin. Pete Stoyanovich missed the extra point at Joe Robbie Stadium, but it looks like Marino's got a chance to pull off another of his fourth-quarter comebacks. A 3-point lead with 4 minutes left. Colts have the ball in their own territory, down 20-17.
Back here in Foxborough, the New England Patriots trying to hang on for dear life to their first win of the season and trying to also avoid a franchise record. In the 1969 season, they started out 0-7. That marked the worst start ever. Well, tonight on NBC, it's Secret Service after the game and eyewitness video, and then later it's an NBC world premiere movie in the Line of Duty Street War. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled time. So you got to wonder, Dan, what is going through the psyche of the New England Patriots. Haven't been in this position with a lead with just 4 minutes to go in a ball game all season long. And last week when we talked to Irving Fryer, who is really the leader of this club, he told us that they just thought that the other team was going to catch up and win. And down goes Millen again.
It looks like...
And the Browns recover. And it looked like Mike Johnson, the middle linebacker, got the loose football. And he did.
Just as you were talking, we see Hugh Millen go back. He doesn't take a quick enough read, get rid of the ball. Clay Matthews, number 57, Father Time, turns the back door corner, strips the ball. Mike Johnson, the other middle linebacker, gets it for the Cleveland Browns. Now, you know, like you talked about, what's their psyche? Let me tell you what you do. You just don't worry about the clock. You don't worry about anything except doing your job. There, Hugh Millen, unable to find a receiver. You get rid of it. Don't give the other team a chance to make a big play. Just get rid of it. There he didn't. Now they're looking down the barrel of a long gun.
Shades of self-destruction for the New England Patriots. The 4th turnover of this game. The 5th sack on Hugh Millen. The Browns in control. Tomczak's pass is complete to...
That's Bavaro.
Mark Bavaro.
You know, this is a play that they stole from New York. You know, Bavaro, the great tight end with the Giants for all those years. It's a play-away bootleg. You'll see action right to the right of your screen. Where the tight end acts like he blocks, then he curls back out. Quarterback boots it, catches him right there between the linebacker forcing and the safety coming up. Great play.
1st and 10 from the Patriots 25. And that is Mack pulling away. Straight ahead. We're almost to the 3-minute mark. The Patriots up 17-12.
You know, we're talking right before that last fumble by Hugh Millen about how this team just You know, sometimes they go in a shell and they say, hey, we're just waiting for something bad to happen instead of making something good. Well, speak of the devil, it happens.
And we'll be back to Foxborough to check on New England's injury report in just a moment. Cleveland trying to take the lead for the New England Patriots, down 17-12. The Patriots showing all the signs of self-destruction that they have all season long. They've turned the ball over 4 times.